now this hour on VTV News. Vietnam and Laos promote effective cooperation. And later on, banks set to boost economic growth with early credit targets for 2025. And in a world news, Europe takes firm stand on Greenland following Trump's remarks.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Phie with the latest updates. Now, meeting with former leaders of the party and state, veteran cadres, scientists, and artists from southern provinces and cities, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm acknowledged 2024's achievements, noting that Vietnam has achieved significant success across all sectors and surpassed all 15 set targets. The Party General Secretary emphasized that 2025 would be a breakthrough year for completing the mission set by the 13th Party Congress, stressing the need to unify awareness and action in carrying out economic innovation. He expressed hope that intellectuals and scientists will fulfill their responsibilities and create lasting works that serve the party and nation. Prime Minister Phie and Laotian Prime Minister Son Say Siphandon co-chaired the 47th Vietnam-Laos Intergovernmental Committee for Bilateral Cooperation meeting on Thursday morning in Vientiane, Laos. The two countries' cooperation in 2024 shows significant progress, particularly in economic, trade, and investment sectors. Vietnam's registered investment capital in Laos has reached approximately $5.7 billion, while bilateral trade turnover hit $2.2 billion, or nearly a 34% increase. Now entering 2025, both sides have agreed to continue implementing high-level agreements and cooperation documents effectively. The Vietnamese Prime Minister proposed that both countries aim to achieve at least $5 billion in trade turnover over the next 2 years, while developing and implementing key infrastructure projects. Recently, the State Bank of Vietnam, or SBV, projected a credit growth rate of around 16% for the entire system in 2025. Now, this marks the second consecutive year that the SBV has set credit targets for commercial banks at the beginning of the year. This early planning approach enables commercial banks to allocate capital more effectively to their strongest sectors.
The State Bank of Vietnam states that the 16% credit growth target is flexible and can be adjusted based on economic conditions. This flexibility allows credit institutions to provide adequate and timely capital to the economy when additional credit capacity is required.
There is no need to formally apply for an increased credit limit. In 2024, the initial target for credit growth at the beginning of the year was 15%.
Setting the credit growth target at the start of the year enables commercial banks to better plan their operations, ensuring appropriate loan distribution and improved credit quality. For instance, this bank has focused its credit resources on retail, SMEs, and green credit.
This greatly helps banks in developing their business strategies, such as having a clear business direction in advance, allowing them to meet customer demands effectively. Typically, banks need to respond to customer needs and determine the credit room allocated for the next year. They will know which market segments to focus on. And secondly, they can optimize the credit room granted by the State Bank of Vietnam.
When banks proactively offer tailored incentive packages to specific sectors, it enhances businesses' ability to access capital. This mechanical enterprise expects its order volume to increase by 15% this year, so they plan to borrow an additional $197,000 USD to invest in machinery.
It is expected that in 2025, we will invest in factories to support production expansion.
In addition, experts note that the 2025 credit growth target aligns with the Prime Minister's GDP growth target of over 8%.
As these growth drivers return, they will also lead to higher demand for capital flow, which will likely result in more positive credit growth in 2025. Therefore, we are optimistic that we can achieve the 16% credit growth target set by the State Bank of Vietnam.
Moreover, the sustained low interest rates serve as a key factor supporting and stimulating capital demand throughout the economy.
Vietnam has made a strong impression in 2024 with an impressive GDP growth of 7.09%, surpassing forecasts and becoming a bright growth spot in the region despite the turbulent global economy. Looking ahead to 2025, with strong political will and a strategic vision, Vietnam has set ambitious economic growth targets, reaffirming confidence in the national economy's potential and strength. This ambitious goal has drawn attention from several international media outlets.
Bloomberg and the Business Times published articles highlighting Vietnam's bold economic growth target for 2025. According to the reports, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has instructed the Ministry of Planning and Investment and other ministries and localities to immediately prepare scenarios aiming for strong growth in 2025, both at the national and local level. Earlier, while the National Assembly set a GDP growth target of 6.5% to 7%, the Prime Minister identified 2025 as a year of acceleration, aiming for a growth rate of approximately 8%.
I think it's good when a leader dares to set a high target in terms of driving the strategies towards growth. And it is very important that we get the ambitions back and that the government works to protect stability and confidence.
Vietnam has set itself up to become an upper middle income country by 2030 and a high income country by 2045. That really necessitates about 7% GDP growth every year. So the fact that the government has set an 8% target for it is aspirational, but it is in line with the government's overall objective for economic growth by 2030 and 2045. However, this number is more of a directional, it's more of a guidance, and the focus should really be on the quality of the economic growth rather than the quantity of the economic growth.
According to an article in The Star, Malaysia, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has emphasized the importance of promptly disbursing public investment funds in early 2025 to stimulate growth. He also suggested cutting unnecessary administrative procedures to create a more favorable business environment.
The role of institutions becomes more important as you move up the value chain. You need very strong market institutions, and having the right market institutions in place depends on having a very effective system of government and regulation. And I think these changes will make that much more feasible.
Vietnam has recently announced institutional reforms which also seeks to streamline the ministerial hierarchy in the country, and the government will also be very crucial. Those connected with better coordination among the ministries will definitely go a long way to expedite project processing and in turn have a cascading effect on boosting economic growth. A shining star in Southeast Asia in terms of economic growth. The fact that it remains a bit of a powerhouse is the real opportunity.
The real estate sector has attracted $3.7 billion, accounting for nearly 90% of the total FDI registered in Vietnam in 2024, according to the General Statistics Office. This positions real estate as the second largest sector for newly registered FDI, behind only the processing and manufacturing industry. Analysts shows that the Vietnamese real estate market attracts investors from Singapore, Japan, South Korea, the US, and Europe, with industrial, residential, and commercial real estate being the three segments with the highest interest. With less than 3 weeks remaining until the Lunar New Year 2025, businesses in Ho Chi Minh City are ramping up efforts to stabilize prices and secure adequate supplies for the holiday season. With thorough planning, the city expects to meet all Thie's shopping needs while maintaining stable supplies and controlled prices.
This company plans to supply approximately 800 tons of vegetables per day to the Ho Chi Minh City market during Tet. To meet increased demand, the cooperative has expanded its operations by leasing 2 additional hydroponic farming areas and enlarging its garden space.
By using a hydroponic system, we can maintain stable production without relying on weather conditions, which helps avoid price hikes in the market. As a result, we can keep our prices fixed, ensuring that prices during Tet remain stable.
We have partnered with factories and producers to secure advance orders, allowing us to offer better discounts. This is our effort to stabilize prices during Tet.
The Ho Chi Minh City's Department of Industry and Trade has stated that during peak Tet demand, stable price products will account for up to 43% of the market's needs, ensuring full control over market dynamics.
The supply of goods is abundant and diverse, and there are no concerns about price fluctuations. Businesses are already planning to offer discounts on essential goods to ensure adequate supply.
As part of its market stabilization efforts, the city will ensure daily supplies of 8,300 tons of rice, 5,000 tons of beef, 5,500 tons of poultry, 23 million eggs, 1,400 tons of sugar, and 800 tons of processed foods, all aimed at providing residents with a smooth Tet shopping experience.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate of today, January the 9th. Coming up next, $339 million spent to support poor households during the Lunar New Year. And border guards spread Tet cheer across coastal communities. Welcome back to VTV News. 5 earthquakes struck Con Plong district in Kon Tum province early Thursday morning. The largest, with a magnitude of 4.2, occurred at 1:55 a.m. While local residents felt the tremors, no damage was reported. The other 4 earthquakes happened between 1:39 a.m. and 2:25 a.m., with magnitudes ranging from 2.7 to 3.4 and depths of about 8.2 kilometers. The Institute of Geophysics classified these as minor earthquakes that were unlikely to cause service damage. Since 2021, Kon Plong has experienced frequent seismic activity, though none has reached concerning levels. According to the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs at the government press conference, $333 million will be allocated this holiday to ensure social security for poor households and those in difficult circumstances. Now, for this Lunar New Year, local authorities plan to provide approximately $12 per household to those eligible for social protection and the poor. Many provinces and cities offer higher support than the national average, with Ho Chi Minh City providing $45 per household. To promote social welfare and care for patients in difficult circumstances, Thanh Hóa Provincial General Hospital has partnered with manufacturers and charitable clubs to organize the Spring Market 2025 program.
Thanh Hóa General Hospital is hosting a spring market for patients in difficult circumstances. At this market, each patient is given a voucher that allows them to shop for free. They can procure items such as sweets, fish sauce, rice, or nutritional supplements. These gifts are aimed at providing spiritual support and encouraging patients to overcome their illnesses.
The gifts bring spiritual encouragement. Whether I'm in the hospital or have been discharged, it remains a Tet gift. I'm very grateful to the charitable organizations for helping the patients.
We hope these gifts will provide meaningful support to everyone during their treatment process, bringing them joy, especially during this Tet holiday.
This year, the number of gifts for patients at Thanh Hóa General Hospital has doubled, exceeding 1,600 packages, along with 1,400 warm coats lovingly donated by the hospital's labor union and youth union. Additionally, special musical performances filled the hospital with a festive atmosphere of spring, helping lift patients' spirits.
We will try to connect with sponsors to organize more programs, not just the Zero Dong Market, but also various activities throughout the week, month, and year to provide both material and emotional support for patients in need.
Looking ahead, Thanh Hóa General Hospital will continue organizing charitable programs to bring warmth to patients facing hardships during that holiday. These initiatives aim to inspire patients as they cope with illnesses and life's challenges, especially during the festive spring season.
Border guard stations across the country are launching initiatives to support border communities at state nears. In Khánh Hòa province, where border guards work closely with fishermen year-round, these efforts are strengthening the bonds between the military and the people. Through meaningful practical activities, the border soldiers are bringing early Tet celebrations to coastal areas.
After losing her husband, Phie raised 2 young children alone and felt hopeless when her youngest daughter, Bích Phương, was diagnosed with congenital anemia. The soldiers at the Ninh Hai Border Guard Station supported her through the toughest times. As circumstances improved, both children were able to attend school. With continued support from the Border Guard, Bích Phương is now thriving in 8th grade.
My child is sick, and I'm a single mother, so the Border Guards help by giving us 500,000 VND every month for her education.
For the families here, the Border Guards are like family members. Whenever there are difficulties, they can call the Border Guard station immediately for help. The Border Guards always know which family is facing challenges, allowing them to quickly mobilize resources to provide assistance.
We search for sponsors and other resources to have more funds to provide more support to people in the coastal areas.
Families in need receive vital support from the Border Guards as Tet approaches. Free from worries and burdens, they can now embrace the joy of the season. Though modest in monetary value, these gifts carry profound meaning for the fishermen. Through heartfelt contributions from Border Guards and generous donors both near and far, everyone will have a chance to celebrate the Lunar New Year.
These gifts express the border soldiers' gratitude towards fishermen.
In these days leading up to Tet, Border Guard stations continue to send gifts to families in need. This time, Phie's family received a special surprise. Her daughter Bích Phương was given the bicycle she had always wanted. Tet has come early for them this year.
Now continuing with preparations for the Lunar New Year. With just a few weeks left before Tet, farmers are focusing on final care procedures to ensure the flowers bloom on schedule. Though weather conditions have been unfavorable, peach orchid workers must remain vigilant about monitoring their plants and adapting to changing weather patterns.
With a 2,500 square meter plot, Do Van Hu's family grows around 400 peach trees, primarily the pink variety. As Tet approaches, his family is working tirelessly on the final stages of care to prepare the peaches for the traditional Lunar New Year.
The most crucial time is when the peach buds are forming and the leaves are shedding. Proper care and fertilization are key to ensuring a good Tet harvest.
To ensure beautiful blooms in time for Tet, farmers must carefully plan and manage their trees. Every task, from weeding and soil cultivation to watering, leaf removal, and pruning, requires meticulous attention.
We must closely monitor the growth of both the tree and the flowers and carefully prune any branches that look bad to ensure the trees are perfect. In just 3 weeks, we must deliver the peaches to customers. However, the weather conditions make this task challenging.
As Tet draws near, peach farmers hope for more favorable weather conditions. They eagerly anticipate a successful harvest, wishing for their trees to bloom beautifully and bring joy to everyone during the first days of the Lunar New Year.
Metro Line 1 Bến Thành Suối Tiên is not only an iconic project for Ho Chi Minh City's transportation infrastructure, but also greatly contributes to the city's tourism growth. Many travel agencies have quickly incorporated the Metro Line into their tour packages, adding novelty and appeal to new tourism products just in time for the forthcoming Tết holiday.
Iconic landmarks of Ho Chi Minh City, such as Bến Thành Market, the City Opera House, and Independence Palace, now exude vibrant energy as tourists in colorful outfits eagerly explore them. This is thanks to their direct connection with metro stations, making it more convenient for visitors to navigate and explore the city.
I want to explore the city's new side with my sisters. From this metro station, we can easily visit famous tourist destinations.
This is my first time wearing áo đai while traveling by metro, and it's such a joyful experience. The metro is clean and comfortable.
According to travel agency representatives, a range of tourism products combining metro rides, river bus tours, and sightseeing iconic landmarks have been introduced. Day trip tours via the metro are currently priced between $14 and $35 USD per guest. They are expected to attract more tourists during the Tết holiday.
New experiences, such as the Metro Drive and various tourist attractions, will be available along the route. We have prepared many products to meet the customers' full demands. We expect this to be a booming success during this year's date.
We have prepared tourist maps linked to the metro route, and travel agencies have also offered many tours across the metro stations.
Metro Line 1 is expected to be a lever for the city's tourism development this holiday, making it easier for domestic and international visitors to access cultural, historical, and entertainment spots.
The Da Nang International Fireworks Festival 2025 will run from May the 31st to July the 12th this year. Unlike previous years, the festival will expand beyond impressive fireworks displays to include art, music, sports, and technological innovation. Now, this marks the longest fireworks season in the festival history. With its expanded scale, the event expects to attract more than 1.5 million visitors, ushering in a new era for Da Nang's fireworks tradition. Coming up next in our world news, mass power outages in California due to wildfires. And later on, Europe takes firm stand on Greenland following Trump's remarks. Over 400,000 households and businesses in California have lost power as wildfires spread uncontrollably across the state. At least 5 people have been killed in fires near Los Angeles. Nearly all power outages are concentrated in Southern California, primarily in the Los Angeles area. The number of customers without power is expected to rise as utility companies proactively shut off power. Firefighting efforts are facing major setbacks due to strong winds, dry conditions, and limited water supplies in urban areas. Following U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's comments about purchasing Greenland from Denmark, several European leaders have strongly opposed the idea, emphasizing the importance of national sovereignty.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz stated during a speech in Berlin that he had been in contact with regional partners regarding the issue of Greenland and reaffirmed the principle of inviolable borders.
The principle of inviolable borders applies to all countries, regardless of whether they are to the east or the west of us. Every nation must adhere to this principle, whether it is a small country or a powerful one. This is a fundamental tenet of international law and a core element of what we refer to as Western values.
The European Commission also made it clear that the collective defense clause under the Lisbon Treaty would apply to Greenland in the event of any military actions.
In terms of legally and whether the Article 42(7) of the treaty would apply to Greenland, it would apply to Greenland. But we are indeed speaking of something extremely theoretical.
Earlier, President-elect Donald Trump stated that he would impose tariffs on Denmark if the country rejects his offer to purchase Greenland, which he described as crucial to U.S. national security.
Spain and France have expressed concerns about the growing political influence of the world's wealthiest man, Elon Musk, in Europe. Speaking at an event in Madrid, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez stated that Musk has openly attacked European institutions and fueled hatred, calling it a serious challenge for Europe. 2 days earlier, French President Emmanuel Macron also voiced concerns over Musk's direct involvement in the election. These statements came after Musk posted criticisms targeting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Researchers at Osaka University have found that 87% of patients suffered kidney function impairment after taking Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals' red yeast rice supplement, Beni-Koji. The kidney damage continued even 2 months after discontinuing the product. These findings come from a Japan Kidney Association survey of 114 patients. And up next is the weather forecast. And that's the end of VTV News. To rewatch a program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or visit our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.